trying to gather more information. The other major headline, the Sugar Bowl, which was supposed to take place today, has been moved to tomorrow afternoon. Officials saying it is going to be secure. You even had the governor saying that he will be there to show just how safe they can make the city. A lot of eyes are going to be on New Orleans because a lot of questions still remain about how this tragedy unfolded, especially with the Super Bowl just a month away, and how the city will prepare for that. Again, this investigation is still unfolding, so many questions about this suspect, this accused terrorist of carrying out this terrible, heinous attack here on this city, claiming so many lives. And again, some of that information just starting to trickle in as far as who the victims are, and again, more to learn about those that were injured. Again, we expect this police presence to remain in this city. It is not on lockdown by any means, but of course, people want to be assured that they are safe. Back to you.
And there's this. Authorities arresting a man in Houston, Texas at the home they say belonged to the New Orleans attacker. A SWAT team that showed up at the house and brought at least 4 children and 5 adults out of that house. Not long afterwards, you see here a man coming out of that house with his hands up and in the air as officers had their guns out. That man was later taken into custody.
Thousands of fans are in New Orleans tonight for the Sugar Bowl game between the University of Georgia and Notre Dame. That game was postponed until tomorrow. The attack happened about a mile away from the Superdome, where the game was set to kick off. Organizers decided to postpone that game for about 24 hours. Officials say they're working to set up a safe and efficient environment there, and some fans say they're still planning to attend the game, while others have already left town.
I don't think anybody's going to be going out tonight, but everybody I talked to that's going to the game like us is still going to go to the game. They, in fact, checking when I was coming out of the hotel to go on this coffee run this morning, there were dozens of people with Georgia stuff on that were checking out. And I didn't get a chance to talk to any of them, but my guess is that a lot of them have decided just to head home.
The Sugar Bowl has been played in New Orleans every year since 1935. The 7th seed Notre Dame Fighting Irish set to face the SEC champion Georgia Bulldogs. And we have more now on President Biden's address to the nation earlier today.
KCRA 3 White House correspondent Kaylin Norwood is in Washington with the president's message.
The president sharing updates on the investigation from Camp David, revealing new details about the suspect's actions before the attack. He also had a message for the victims' families.
I grieve with you. Our nation grieves with you. We're going to stand with you as you mourn and as you heal in the weeks to come.
President Joe Biden with a message to the people of New Orleans after a driver rammed into a crowd of people on New Year's Day. The president said he's been in contact with the FBI and gave more details about the suspect. Biden said the attacker was an American citizen born in Texas, served in the U.S. Army on active duty and in the Army Reserve, and shared what the suspect did just before the attack.
Mere hours before the attack, he posted videos on social media indicating that is inspired by ISIS, expressing a desire to kill.
President Biden says he's directing his administration to work on this intensively, adding the investigation is fluid and no one should jump to conclusions. Reporting from Washington, I'm Kaylin Norwood.
And President-elect Donald Trump also posting about the attack on his Truth Social account, saying, "Our hearts are with all of the innocent victims and their loved ones, including the brave officers of the New Orleans Police Department. The Trump administration will fully support the city of New Orleans as they investigate and recover from this act of pure evil."
Governor Newsom reacted to the attack on social media. He says, in part, this morning's horrific acts of terror are unconscionable. Americans celebrating the new year were senselessly targeted, harmed, and killed. He goes on to say, California is holding the victims in our hearts, and we're grateful for the brave law enforcement and first responders who rushed to their aid. As we update this case on air and online, make sure you have the KCRA3 app downloaded so you can stay up to date.
That brings us to our next story tonight, where federal agents are investigating whether there's a connection between the attack in New Orleans